Dr. James D. Tabor says, I believe, in the Jesus Dynasty, I believe he says that the Ebionites resemble a proto Muslim movement. So this is becoming very popular in scholarship.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's very interesting. And you know what? When you speak about Acts, it's very obvious that Acts was written in an attempt to make Paul more acceptable, because they also include a story that Paul never spoke about himself in his own letters, which seems strange because once I talk about it, it seems like kind of a slam dunk that he should mention. Luke,
Yeah.
who is said to be the author of Acts, which is it's clearly not Luke, but regardless, is a student of Paul. And he writes about his teacher, saying that when he was on his road back to Damascus, his trip back to Damascus, Jesus appeared to him. And
Right.
he asked a very particular question, I guess in Greek literature, something along the lines of, why do you kick against the goads? You know, like, why are you coming after me, kind of thing? Why do you persecute me or my followers,
Right.
kind of thing? And what's very interesting is this exact same scene with the exact same phrase is found in works that were written 300 years before this was written by, allegedly by Luke, in Acts, in the Bacchae, about the god Dionysus. And
Yeah.
when you dig deeper, it gets very interesting, because Dionysus also died and rose. Dionysus was the god of duality. So he also had I think, an instance of water being turned to wine, or water and wine kind of thing. And since he was a god of duality, and Jesus was man and God with a dual kind of sense, a dual kind of nature, it made a lot of
Yeah.
sense. And in the Bacchae, Dionysus appears to someone who's persecuting the followers of Dionysus while they're traveling on the road, and asks them, why do you kick against the goads? And this brings up a very interesting theory in New Testament scholarship. I think it's still relatively young, but I interviewed the founder of this this methodology. It's called literary mimesis, which literally means meme. It's essentially saying parts of the Bible are a meme of
Yeah.
earlier Greek literature. And this would be one example. And this happens all over the Bible. I won't get into it because it's very long and tedious, but there are
Yeah.
multiple books on it. His name is Dr. Dennis MacDonald, for those who are interested. But not Paul, sorry, whoever wrote Acts seems to be writing it just to make Paul more acceptable, because clearly people didn't like him for the things he was saying about their faith. And the only reason I believe Christianity spread in the way that it did is because it appealed to the Gentiles. The Jews were like, the Jews who believed in Jesus were saying, this is
They,
for
they didn't.
us.
They could save their foreskin, man. They didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't have to, you know,
Yeah.
because according from what we know, that it seems that if you wanted to be a part of the Jesus movement, the Torah or something, and these Greek Gentiles that are already familiar with man gods and the semi quasi divine beings, dying for the salvation of your followers. And we see that with Apollonius of Tyana and other figures. This is something appealing, something easy. You don't have to follow no Torah. You could just believe by grace through faith that you'll be saved. And obviously with the